Question. What would you honestly feel about something like this if you were to see it for yourself? What would you actually think? What would you really actually think? What I'm about to show you is something that I'm compelled to show in order to make a point. And I think you should see this. Hello everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. And what you just saw was something that happened about a year ago, or a little over a year, but it was in 2019, in which a correction officer, a number of them, but one in particular, became extremely abusive towards the person they were arresting. I watched the video a couple of times, and I know that when someone has to manhandle somebody because they're getting belligerent or they're getting violent, I know they have to restrain them or get a little rough. I understand that. Having to deal with people like that almost every day or whatever the case may be, I understand that. However, there is a line that needs to be drawn. And some officers, if not many, cross that line. And they basically, in most cases, get away with it. Especially if it's not on camera. This shows a perfect example when excessive force is used very unnecessarily. Unnecessary use of force. He could have died. Someone like that, especially if they're like later on pepper sprayed or whatever, if that person has asthma, any number of things could happen. But in this particular case, where he's saying he was being choked, where he's saying I can't breathe, they don't bother to take that into consideration. They know what's going on. In my opinion, of course this is not conclusive, but my opinion, that they actually want him to die. Make up an excuse and say I had to do it. All because of their overwhelming hate. When the officer said, "You haven't seen excessive force yet," And then right away he starts punching him in the midsection over and over again. You could see the anger, the loathing, and not just the frustration that he's being annoyed with him, but the overwhelming anger, not to mention racism. I'm willing to bet anything that this guy is a racist. Things like this, no matter how far someone has gotten away with it, it will one day take its toll. It will definitely one day take its toll. I think, for the most part, I'm pretty sure that most people that are watching this video right now would actually agree with me. And I hope you do. This seriously needs to be addressed because there's going to be more cases like this. Not just with blacks, but also Hispanics. Anybody. Doesn't matter who it is. Things will definitely get out of hand. And if it's not addressed, if there's not enough awareness, especially video footage, it will continue to exist. In the video in which the inmate was being, or the arrestee, I should say, because he was just brought into county jail, we just kneed into the midsection, all because he was squirming and moving too much. If they were to even know, which they probably did, that when you're handcuffed, for those of you who have ever been arrested and had handcuffs put on you that are too tight to the point that it's actually cutting off the circulation, and having you put on a chair, restrained, just imagine the pain you're going through and the discomfort. And they're aware of that. And it seems to me, with all fairness, I'm sorry, but I have to say this. Not only were they aware of it, but they actually got a rise out of it. They felt some sort of satisfaction seeing him go through that kind of pain. All because they see him as a punk. I understand that some people need to be put in their place when they become violent, but there's better ways into handling it. Much better ways. This was totally unnecessary. When he says you're using excessive force, this officer said, you ain't seen excessive force yet. And at that point, just seconds after he said that, he struck him in the midsection several times. If the wind would have gotten knocked out of him while being choked at the same time, just imagine the danger he would have been in. I have not gotten the names of these two people. This is the one that struck him. From what last I heard, he resigned, if I remember correctly. And as for him, who's very lucky to be alive, ended up getting a settlement. I don't know exactly how much money, whether it's $500,000 or something like that he must have gotten awarded with for the abuse that he took. And again, he was very lucky to be alive. Something like this is completely unnecessary. There's no need for this type of abuse. And if this continues, who knows what kind of wave of anger that it could actually create. And I hope to everything that's good, that something bad doesn't happen in the future as a result of things like this. Now, some of you people might think, well, I don't feel sorry for that guy. He was a punk. He deserved to get his ass kicked. And if they accidentally kill him as a result of it, who gives a fuck? Ask me if I give a fuck. He's a thug. He's a ghetto trash, whatever it is. And any number of things. There are some people that would actually think that. And of course, you have the right to think whatever you want. But not everybody thinks that way. At least I don't. Just think of the message if that were to come out. He deserves it. He's a punk. I've seen comments on similar situations like this in which someone has actually said, "Oh, these people are getting beaten up, almost beaten to death. They're suffering." Who gives a fuck? Because of that loathing and that hate that they have towards people like that, without even understanding the whole situation to begin with. But they don't want to bother to. I dare to speak and making a very good point. I just want to know from all of you, drop a comment, any questions, whatever you want to say. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I want to know your opinion. For those of you who haven't seen this video yet, it's the Ramsey County Jail incident. And you'll find out the video right there. Inmate beaten at Ramsey County Jail. And just give me your opinion. Was it justified what they did, or was it unjustifiable? Again, I'm not picking sides. Well, in a way I kind of did. I said they overdid it, so, and I am, in a way I am, but the thing about it is I'm not going to pick sides from what you actually believe. Just tell me honestly, do you think that this was overdone, or do you believe it was justified? Give me your honest opinion on that. This is Dare to Speak. And again, to all of you, take care.